The other thing I'll say, and I hope I didn't talk too long, but
No, no, no. I love this story.
oh, thank you. It is lovely. It's very uplifting. Oh, they should make a children's cartoon about it.
Hello, welcome to another Latino with a podcast. I'm the Latino with a podcast, Christian Henningsmeyer, and today I am with Laura Hugg, an amazing comic that introduced me to an amazing people, and we have done a couple of shows in the suburbs for white people, and that's amazing. How you feeling? How you doing to that? We did one, and we did it in it was in the a lot of tables, and they were like doing a raffle or something, and they were doing like, who here wants to donate for the park? And let's start with $100, and people raise their hand. 200, 500, and people raise their hand. And I was like, they're paying us like $35. You know? No, no, I'm kidding. They pay us like I believe
I mean,
they
we
pay us
got
really good.
better than that, but I do live in that park. It's so nice. It's so much nicer than my apartment. I'm like, I'm moving into this park, so y'all donate big now.
No, we did it in a basketball court, and
Yeah,
it's really interesting to do stand up in that kind of like
yeah,
echo chamber.
yeah.
But I'm happy you're here. I'm
Thank
happy
you.
I have you.
I'm happy to be here.
Like I'm gonna explain kind of like what this episode. Usually I bring topics
Okay,
and things to talk about,
cool. I like a theme.
but I believe the thing to talk
Keeps
about
me on track.
is you.
I'm the theme?
Why? I believe you have such an interesting life, and your present is so interesting that no one asks the past. But I believe your life,
Oh.
I believe your life is amazing.
Okay.
That you have the.
Are you here to ask about my past?
I wanna ask about your
Okay.
past. Okay,
Oh.
and receiving a call, I'm not gonna answer because it's a spam risk. Okay, no, because I've been seeing this. I'm gonna start with what I've been watching, and I've been feeling that the kind of experiences that you used to be able to have, like, are vanishing because of technology. I saw a tweet recently that it was in this spring break. A couple of kids like went to spring break and spent like $4,000, and one person who was like I did my spring break in the 90s, and it was like six people in a car, and we just rented one hotel room for all of us, and we packed sandwiches, and that's it, and it was the best spring break ever.
Okay.
But I believe like technology and rules and everything is what is like damaging, because like if you try to book a hotel room, six people in a room, they won't allow it.
Yeah.
If you take anything from the hotel, like bread or whatever, like if you open the fridge, they will like charge you for that. So like
Okay.
it's impossible to not spend that amount of money. If
Okay.
you go six people in a car, you're gonna get stopped. You're gonna get like a ticket. So
Yeah.
I believe a lot of experiences are just like getting less enjoyable because of technology and rules
Okay. And money and inflation.
and money.
Yeah.
So how was that, for example, your spring break?
Oh, well,
We started hard. We're like, okay.
okay. Well, that's funny because I didn't really have a spring break. I didn't. You, spring break, college or high school?
It can be both.
Okay. I did not go to college right away after high school. I went and I went. I actually moved to Chicago. Um, Not after high school. I didn't go to any school after I graduated high school. I stayed in my hometown and I waited tables and I partied.
You see?
Partied.
No, no, no.
I mean,
What do you mean by party?
right. I mean, party is, it implies it's a gathering of people. It doesn't necessarily mean it was happy. But I just didn't. I had such a hard time in school, and I had an extra year. But to be fair, I didn't go the year that I failed the 11th grade, and I don't, I shouldn't laugh, but it's partial mainly for not going. like a lot of it. And then when I did go, I didn't turn in work, or the work I turned in was substandard. So I failed. And then I went to a different school, and it was less strict, and I did better, and then
Okay.
I graduated and actually did well with looser restrictions and lower expectations, and I did graduate, but I didn't have spring break. So as far as things being expensive, I can speak to that, and I can speak to technology um, being a tool or a weapon versus a tool, right?
I agree.
Um,
I have Owen Damon. I don't know if you know Owen Damon. He was born in 2005. And I asked him like, what
who is this? Did you say?
Owen Damon is
Oh, and
one
Damon.
comic.
Okay.
He's hilarious. And I asked him like, okay, you are representing right now your Gen Z generation. Why do you think Gen Z is not drinking? Because that's a problem that is happening.
Oh, are
And
they
he,
not drinking?
yeah, they're like the they're plummeting. The industry
Liquor.
of liquor
Okay.
is plummeting because
How
like
about
they
the
don't drink.
drugs? Are they up on the drugs though?
No,
Really?
marijuana yes, but drugs
Okay.
like hard drugs no.
Okay.
And but he said, I was like, it's because like I think it's because now everybody has a camera.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And before
Good.
in
Good. That's very wise of
yeah,
Gen Z.
because in the 90s, like if you get drunk and you do
No.
stupid shit,
Right. You could end up on Girls Gone Wild, or you could end up on Cops.
yeah, but not in the video. Like it was
No.
not in a
Right.
shared video that everybody has.
Right. And that Gen X talks about that. Gen X and older people, boomers, we talk about that. We say that to each other, and I think we, at least some of my friends, have sympathy for millennials and Gen Z for the camera aspect, everything being public,
And recorded, yeah.
and not knowing how to not like carve up your life for content, and or whatever the expect. I can't even, because I'm not 100% immersed in that. I don't know what the expectation is, but I do have sympathy. I have a lot of admiration for younger generations using technology and being smart about that, not being afraid. I mean, just try getting to your friend to an older person to like get on their email and they're freaking out, beating their computer. So there's that side of it, but
Well, what is your like wildest experience that you're like, thank God there was no phones in this
oh,
moment?
so now you want me to put it on a podcast?
Yeah. With
Well,
video,
do you mean
AI video of you
so?
doing.
Yeah, right. You want a recreation?
Yeah, we hire
Do you
some
know what
actors.
I'm gonna do? Oh God, I'm gonna draw a flip book. Do you know what a flip book is?
No.
I think this is what a flip book. If you take like a little notebook, right,
Okay.
and at the bottom of
Oh,
the
there.
page you draw the images, and when you thumb through it,
Oh, it moved.
it moves. It's like an animation. I mean, well, I've had a lot of experiences. I've had public nudity or semi-public nudity or semi-public semi-nudity. Um,
Not, but never fully.
no.
Semi,
No,
no,
I'm usually Winnie the Poohing it. I mean,
crop top, no
so
pants.
top or bottom, but
I like that.
I mean, I've been caught in some compromising positions, to put it mildly, but I'm glad no camera was there for that.
Okay, when was the last time? Like,
Oh,
what age were you the last time? You're like
oh, a long
week
time
ago.
ago. No, no, this was like in the 90s.
Okay, it was the last time that you were.
90s, yeah, 90s. It was in the 90s, yeah.
Okay.
Before I moved here, I think was the last time I did anything. Well, I mean, people showed up, but the police showed up. A police or a security guard.
Okay.
One instance. I mean, there was other stuff, I mean, and I had a friend who I got a tattoo from some guy one time in a living room, and this other guy was filming it. He filmed everything on these like Super 8 cameras. You know, that was real
Yeah.
big in the night. Yeah, the everybody's like, I'm Gus Van Sant or whatever they thought they were at the time, maybe. So, but I've also had I've had public fights and I don't know, passed out drunk in or whatever in the street. Not a lot, but the last time I got drunk or the last time I drank, I passed out in the street, and I'm glad nobody came along and just filmed me.
Yeah. Nowadays, 100%.
Yeah,
At
they would
least
have
one
filmed.
person
Yeah,
will have filmed you.
yeah. I mean, and they might be talking about. They might not even be criticizing me, but they would still be filming me.
Yeah,
So
and they put it online, and even
yeah,
if they don't know you, someone of their friends might know you, and they're
yeah,
like, "Oh, this is Laura," so they send you the
yeah.
video, and then that video like gets to other people, and to other people, and to other people, and then your mom is like, "What the fuck, Laura?"
Yeah. I mean, I mean, I'm telling you about it. It wasn't my intention to pass out, to get so wasted that I passed out on the sidewalk it was near my house. But I mean, that was the last time where I was like, clearly what I'm doing, I can't handle it because it made me vulnerable to the elements. I mean, I could have been, I mean, anything could have happened. So, people think about like, being assaulted or whatever. But also, it could have been something worse. Like, before anybody noticed, somebody could have been walking their dog and the leash went up ahead and the dog peed on me. You know what I mean? Or somebody could have driven over my head.
Living
And I
over
would
your
have
head is
ended
worse.
up in the episode of 6 Feet Under. Do you know that show?
That show destroy me.
Oh,
That's a really good show.
it is a really good show. So, but people always died in weird ways, and it's like, man, I don't want to be like that. So, but anything could have happened, and all of those things could have happened. I could have been assaulted, peed on by a dog, and gotten my head run over, but nothing
Yeah.
like that happened. But instead, I went into stand.
I'm gonna well, we're gonna use the rest of before the post, so I can say like my craziest story, and I'm glad. I believe there were phones, but the cameras were not good. So like maybe for like
Like a
a
flip phone
picture,
camera. Don't those have
yes, right.
cameras?
Yeah, you have like a couple of pictures, but you didn't record with it mostly.
Yeah.
And also like those phones were like you took 5 pictures, and the phone's like you don't have space here,
Right.
and
Right.
that's it.
Right. Yeah.
So this is my crazy one, and then crazy but good. Like
Okay.
with I
Yeah, because
really enjoy it.
crazy or excited, crazy means wild, but wild could be good or bad, could be both,
Yeah.
or just, yeah, I don't know. You
This
can,
was crazy good. It's one of my best memories of like being in these kind of like environments, and it was me and 5 friends. We graduated from high school, and we just bought a lot of liquor and went to like some like house that we rented. That was like it was in a complex that had like a pool and everything, and we were for the weekend. We arrived on Friday. We drink like a couple of beers, super chill. It's like okay, we're arriving. Let's just chill today. We drink tomorrow. We didn't want to drink that day. So Saturday it was 6 people. We drink so much. We started drinking like at 4 p.m. and we had so much alcohol. And when we ran out of that, someone went to buy more alcohol. And there were so many crazy stories happening. Like it was 6 of us, 4 of us cried like
good
because they were
times,
drunk.
good
I
times.
didn't cry, but like the best is like I have a friend that he just started crying, and her girlfriend was on the trip. He just started crying. I was like, "What happened?" I was like, "I don't know." And then we saw the girlfriend just hug to a pole, and she was just like bawling, and we're like, "Why are you crying?" I was like, "He's crying." I was like, "But he doesn't even know where she."
Right.
It was like I just left for like 45 minutes because there was a dog in the complex, and the dog passed by our cabin, And I was like, oh, a dog. And the dog kept walking. I was like, oh, I'm going to follow him. I didn't say that to anybody.
Right.
So I just disappeared. And when I came back, for me, it was like 10 minutes. I came back, they're like, dude, where the fuck were you?
Yeah.
We're worried. I
Yeah.
didn't bring my phone because, like, I'm in the complex. I'm just walking with the dog. Like,
Yeah, you were
all,
wasted, is what you were wandered
yeah,
off and followed a dog, and they lost their friend.
yeah.
Maybe that's why they were crying.
No. Listen to this. Like, there was one that they were like kind of like a couple, but not a couple. And at some point, I went into the shower because it's like, okay, I need like shower over my
Yeah.
hand too drunk.
Yeah, yeah.
So I put. Usually
Gotta wake up.
you have to do cold water. I did hot water,
Okay.
but I was there for so long that no more hot water. So I
Oh,
started to be cold
nasty.
water. And then the woman that they were like into something, but that they were not like official. She came in. She got into a shower with me, and she's like, "You need to like stop being drunk." And
How did she know you needed? Was she drunk?
yeah, everybody was drunk.
Everybody was drunk.
At
but-
any point,
right.
5 of us were really, really drunk. One was taking care of the rest.
Okay.
And
God
what she
bless 'em.
got,
Hope you paid them.
yeah, she got in the no. We turned like
Oh.
one of us snapped from the drunkenness,
Okay.
and then that person have to take care of the other 5,
Okay.
and we end up kissing.
Oh, okay. Is
And-
this all everybody knows about this, right?
Yeah.
Right,
Then
okay.
she left,
Okay.
and the guy came in.
And then you ended up kissing.
No,
Okay.
but he got into the shower.
Okay.
And he was like, dude,
What, and then the
we're,
dog came.
we're
in.
too
Oh,
drunk. We need to like
Yeah.
get it together.
Yeah.
And and I started being like, dude, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm just too drunk. I was like, what? I was like, I just kissed her. I'm so sorry. And then he's like, okay, we need to stop being drunk. We need to stop being drunk. Let's puke.
Oh.
And then he just like put his finger in his mouth
God.
and puke in the
All I,
drain.
can, all I can think is about the people who work there, but like, God damn it.
Yeah, and then I was like, I cannot do it. And he's like, yes, you can. I was like, I cannot. It's like, yes, you can. I was like, dude, I can. And he's like, yes, you can. I was like, I can't. And he just put his finger in my mouth.
Oh my God. Oh.
And it was so much more after that. Like
Sure.
like one of the friends, the one that cried, like puke over himself, and the girlfriend changed his clothes so he can go to sleep.
It's like a real sport.
He went to sleep, woke up like 5 minutes later, and he was like, "Oh my god, I peeled my clothes." So he took his clothes,
The clean clothes
the
off.
clean
and put
clothes,
the
and put the
clothes
pure
on.
ones, and went to sleep again.
Ew. It made sense in his mind.
Yeah,
It's
he's
like
like-
when you're like, I think this is the bathroom door. And then one time I pulled a dresser away from the wall and peed all over. I think it was me. Could have been the other person that was there for a while, but I thought it was a very heavy bathroom door. And I pulled the dresser away from the wall and peed behind it. Or somebody did. It could have been that guy, but I don't know because he was gone when I finally.
I
went.
like that instead of being like, this might not be the door, it's like, this is a really heavy.
That's it. I know. It's like life is a struggle. Even when I'm drunk, I know this much. Like I must have thought I lived in a castle.
Okay, that's my story. We're gonna do a little pause. We're gonna come back with one of the
That's why I'm
crazy
glad
good
there's no
stories.
camera. Oh, of course, I would have figured out who peed behind my dresser.
Yeah, we're gonna be back. And we are back with more crazy story. I was just drunk and I pee in behind the dresser. It was me all this time. But I'm gonna like close it up because after this time it was the hangover that I had the next day was so bad that I decided I'm not gonna drink that much again.
Okay.
And since then I have been drunk like maybe 2 times, and this was when I was 17.
Wow.
The
That's
hangover.
amazing.
The next day, like I've been like tipsy, but like never like drunk.
Yeah.
Like maybe a couple or 3 times after that. The next day, we make like arepas to have breakfast, and I was like holding my arepa. I was about to bite it, and I felt the
Is
shaking.
arepa like a breakfast burrito?
It's like a gordita,
A gordita?
like a Mexican
Like
gordita.
a sandwich?
It's like a sandwich.
Okay.
And
And you had the shakes?
I had the shakes,
Oh my God.
but then
It's like Mad Men.
I felt the shakes going up,
Oh,
and
like a heart attack?
I felt the shakes going up and going up my neck.
Oh.
And when it went to my neck, I thought it was gonna get to my hand. I was gonna die. I just like released the arepa, which is something that Venezuelans do not do. I was like, I can, and I stand up. I start walking like I need sun or something. I was like, it was horrible. I was like, I
Oh my
cannot have this
God.
shit again.
Yeah.
So then I was like, I'm never gonna drink this much because we drink way too much.
When you were 17?
I was 17. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was-
I mean, there's a lot of reasons why you don't want 17-year-olds to rent a hotel room with a bunch of liquor. It's not just technology, but they're gonna do it. It's a rite of
yeah.
passage for a lot
At
of
some
people.
points, I believe someone was like, instead of
Where did you go for spring break?
like we don't have like a spring break. Like
Oh, this was
this
just
was
in
like
Venezuela.
graduation. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, graduation. Okay.
He instead of a cover of a blanket, he grabbed the curtain from the shower.
Yeah. I've seen that done in a lot of sketches where people are wrapped up in various things trying to stay warm, and I'm like, yeah, I've been there.
Okay.
Um,
So, what is your wildest that is fun or happy?
oh, a happy one?
Because I don't want you one that is like, well, that was the time that they took my kidney.
That's
I don't want that
the
one.
time they took my. That does happen. I mean, I don't know if they'd want my kidney now. My kidney's 56 years old, but I don't know how a kidney ages. But I mean, happy ones. I mean, I had a. That's a hard thing with a person who. I always see the long game of my time drinking, and it all ended with me having to stop. But I had fun time. I had fun laughter, like afternoon, Saturday afternoon, we meet up at the bar, or we have a fun party. I remember there was a party we had. I lived in this apartment in my hometown in the college area, although none of us was in college. And we lived across from a bar. We all hung out at this bar, and we were, young in our early 20s, late teens, early 20s, or I guess we were 21. And
Yeah, the bar in problem, like fuck.
yeah,
And just like we were
I
15.
think was this the place I lived? It was like, yeah, I think I was like 21, 20, 21, 22. And we had a big party for Thanksgiving, and we didn't nobody was going home or whatever. And I remember we there was food, like we had food, like we had a chicken and we had food, which was weird because I don't ever remember eating, um, when you're young and you're kind of wild. And then I went out to get beer or something with people. When I came back, I just remember, and this wasn't an outstanding thing, but I remember, I think somebody was playing Public Enemy. Do you know that?
No.
Fight the Power. It's a band. It's an old
Oh,
hip hop
okay.
band, and I don't know if you know Flava Flav.
Yeah, yeah.
He was like him and I forget the other guy, but anyway, Public Enemy was like, it was like the subversive like hip hop um at the time. And when I came back, I just remember like my whole apartment was vibrating. We walk up the stairs of the apartment, and there's just this group of people dancing to Public Enemy. And it was the 90s. Everybody had dreads, black, white. Everybody had black leather, and they were dancing like in a total unit to Public Enemy. And it was really cool looking. These were very cool, artsy people who partied a lot, but they were musicians and artists. The funny thing was, my friend Carla was there. She's a very attractive African American woman. She had dreads, full neck tattoo, rings on every finger. She's wearing black leather bustier. She's wearing black leather chaps, and she has her fucking purse on her arm because she was like, I'm not setting down my purse around any of you motherfuckers. And it was like the most old lady thing on this and it was so funny to me. But also I was really, really high and drunk. So that was a good memory, and it'll always be in my mind's eye.
Yeah, like I love when if that was maybe on video, you'll be like, ooh.
I mean,
It takes something out of it.
yeah, I mean, oh, well, I think maybe that's when it's different because Well, yeah, you see the reality, or you see there were people on the edges that weren't doing so well, or whatever. But that moment, the way it was encapsulated, it was like a fun night. Everybody made like, we had markers and paper out. Make people made hand turkeys. Have you
Mm-hmm.
ever made a hand
Yeah.
turkey? And like people did wild ones because they were like being creative, and it was just a really good party. It was like a good party when there were a lot of parties and they weren't all good and some of them were boring and whatever. But I can't say if technology would have taken something away from that. I don't know, you know,
Yeah.
because we didn't have it.
I feel like the best moments like I try to not put technology in the middle because then yeah you have a memory but you didn't actually
Yeah.
like enjoy the fully what was happening because you were more like
Focused on taking pictures. I mean, I've
I
seen
hate
that like,
my mom does
yeah.
that and I hate it.
Well, now, yeah, people look at pictures and I'm like, are we even going to go back and look at these? Like Um, I think, yeah, it can take you out of it, but people like to be immortalized in print. There's a lot of books that I really like that are like, I don't know if you read Live from New York.
No.
It's about SNL.
Okay.
And so it's first person narrator, and they have like exposition of like talking about the time and what happened, but then they interview somebody and it's basically the way the person spoke about their experience put down on the page. And there's a couple of famous books or a couple of like cultural, I think, important books in American, like Western popular culture that use that technique. Live from New York, there was one about punk rock called Please Kill Me, An Oral History of Punk Rock. And there was a book called Edie about this 1960s cultural icon, Edie Sedgwick. And they all use that narrative, and it's very cool. And it's something that they paint it, that they tell you the story of this amazing moment or this impression that somebody made, but you only have still photographs of some of the people. So, yeah, unless there's a recording of it, you don't know.
But I love to go to a scrapbook of like pictures,
Yeah,
like printed pictures. Like I believe that was something that I love to like bring like the ones that my mom has and go through them.
yeah,
It feels different than you going to your phone.
yeah,
And to your phone, you have so many. There's like, I have a picture of that day, and then it's like 4 or 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 10 minutes of you like, I cannot find it later.
yeah.
I don't know. It's just it takes something out of it. I was gonna ask this. Do you feel when you were younger, you were like the bad influence that some parents were like, don't hang up.
Yes. I know I was. Did I personally think at the time that I deserved that? No. But if I were me as now and I saw my younger self back then and I had a kid or like a younger version of the way I am right now with the younger of how I really was, I would say that that person would get, I think you have to be careful. And I do know there were people who said that. I would say in my defense that they were
They were boring.
just as culpable for anything as I was, but sometimes the squeaky wheel gets the blame. I don't think I don't nobody ever looked at me and goes, "There's the mastermind." No one ever said that. They were just like, "That's the one that's most likely to get in trouble," but it wasn't because I was organized.
So it was because you were the funny one.
Yeah, I was funny and a big old mess. Yeah, and I'm also tall, big person, so that, somehow when you're bigger, people think that you're like should be the hero or like lifting the car off of people, and it's like I'm not necessarily gonna.
But why you were like part of the bad influence?
Why?
Yeah,
Why was I?
yeah.
I mean, I don't think. I guess the way I was. I wasn't trying to be a bad influence. I was trying to influence my friends to come with me or to give me something or take something away that I didn't want. So I was definitely selfish in a lot of ways.
Okay.
Not always. I just wanted to have a good time and feel good in my skin. And then I had a brain that said, well, this is how I think you should do it. And then I acted on it. And it turned out that that wiring was all wrong. And, or a lot of it was wrong. Not everything I did was wrong. And not everything I did was destructive, but it certainly went more to that way, and it wasn't intentional. It was unintentional, but it kept happening. So that's when I had to make
Yeah.
changes.
I was gonna add like, those changes came like exponentially, or like in a period of time, or
Periods.
it was one day that you're like, I need to fucking stop doing that.
I would say looking back, like, because I think what we're really kind of talking about, right, is like when I gave up alcohol, which was like the first. And when I gave up alcohol, my drug use went with it. Like all of it. This light stuff, if you want to call weed light. It's not light for everyone, but everything that I did. But I was into a lot of I was into whatever would make me feel better or different. Um, so I think there was a period of time. I think moving to Chicago was the beginning of the end. I think I was only here. I'm a little hazy, but I think I was only here. I was into my third year living in Chicago when I stopped drinking.
Okay.
And um it just started to like as I got closer to the age of 30, um suddenly I realized like for myself I didn't have a lot to show and other people did. That's not to say that some people don't have a problem and they've still accomplished a lot. Everybody's path is different. And
You just felt you were like behind in.
yeah, I feel like in some ways societally I hadn't achieved certain things. You know, I didn't really have a career. I wasn't doing comedy or anything like that yet. And I didn't have like a family or marriage or whatever people had, and I was not happy. And it wasn't just that, it was like the people I was starting to be around, it it had gotten this way when I left town, when I left my hometown. People were starting to go to jail, like for people were making bad decisions and they were wide awake when they were making them. Maybe didn't want to be wide awake, but they were starting to really hurt themselves and other
But like
people.
friends of yours, people you
Yeah,
know.
like people were getting addicted to really hard drugs. They were putting themselves and others in really deadly situations. They were committing crimes. They were stealing. They were, there were people assaulting people. I mean, I'm not going to say anybody specifically, but it's like there's a saying, show me your companions and I'll tell you who you are. And I do remember this is one thing. I've told this story before, and this is why I don't like, and I've written a joke about it. I've never seen the movie Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I've only seen part of it.
Okay.
I didn't have cable when I was growing up. I had friends that had like the early cable type situations, but I didn't grow up with cable. We did have a VCR when I was in high school, and we rented movies. But I didn't see Ferris Bueller, right? Except one day I was dating, I was living with this guy, and it was the guy that I lived with until moved to Chicago. And he'd been in jail before. He'd spent like a year, I think, in the penitentiary. And so he was out on probation. I don't know if that's parole. I don't know exactly how that works. He got busted for trespassing. Like he and my other friend were out. They were kind of drunk and they went out off-roading in a truck or something and they got stuck in the mud and they got busted because they were on someone's property, right?
Okay.
And he had to go to jail he had to spend the weekend in jail. And so I went to visit him. Um, and when I was in the jail, I was sitting in the lobby of the jail and Ferris Bueller was on the television set. And I was like, I don't know, here's this like guy having this great day, and I'm sitting in the jail, right? I'm sitting in the jail lobby. And then two people walk into the lobby of jail, and I know them. It's a couple. And I'm like, hey guys. And so here we are having a little reunion. And they're here to see another guy that I know who, and I don't know if I knew at the time, I don't remember if I knew then that he had stabbed somebody. He had attacked somebody with an stabbed a guy, and in his home. Like he tried to. I don't know if he was trying to murder this guy, but
No, he did that.
yes. So that's all right. So they were there to. He happened to be in the city jail too. I don't know if he was awaiting getting moved somewhere else. So I'm like, there was this moment, even though I felt like I was being swept along by a muddy river after a huge thunderstorm or whatever. I just felt like I had this moment where I'm uh, like, okay, here we are, and it was kind of a funny, haha. So we go up. It started to dawn on me, this is not the place I want to be, right? So then we go up into the jail, into the waiting area. And the way that it was designed, I don't know if we went up or side, I don't know where we went, but we went up together, and my boyfriend came up on one side, and it was a shared hallway, and there was a
The
glass.
plexiglass.
Yes, there was, and a place to sit, and there was one on the other side. So me and this couple are in the middle, and here comes my boyfriend on one side, and here comes my friend on the other. And and they were like, "Hey, man, what's going on?" And I remember saying to my friend, I go, "Hey, what's up? How are you doing?" He's like, "I'm running the joint." I don't know if he was running the joint. What's he gonna say?
Yeah.
And I was like, "All right." And then so whatever. I sat with my boyfriend, and I was just like, and then we went back down. I left, and he got out. So then he went to court. So shortly thereafter. So I went to court, and I was sitting there. And when he was in court, the two attorneys, two of the public defenders, were a woman that I knew from, let's just say, a support group I had attended for a little while. I
Okay.
knew her, and a guy I went to high school with are attorneys. And she comes over to me, which was very nice of her. And she's like, "What are you doing here?" She's like, "Do you have a court date?" And I'm like, and she kind of knew because she came
Yeah.
from that background. Now that I think about it, she was probably like, this is what happens when you start, you stop doing something and you start again. It's back to the chaos. And I was like, no, I'm here. I remember being kind of like, "Oh, no, I'm here to support my boyfriend." But it's kind of like one of those things where you're like one person away, 1 degree of separation from me being the person in
Yeah.
court, right? And that was like another dawning moment. And, and those kind of conditions were why I ended up moving to Chicago.
And yeah, to just like start fresh.
To start, yeah, my idea was like start fresh. But then when I got here, I realized that a lot of the things that, like my town, the people, that I both blamed for a lot of things that maybe it wasn't their fault. And also, I was still homesick. I'm sure you know about
That's it. Yeah.
homesickness.
Yeah.
It's real.
Yeah.
Like, whether you like your place or not, like, just to be set somewhere else is huge. I can only imagine what it's like to go to another country. Like,
With another language and people who are like speak correctly. It's like I'm trying.
oh, and be mean. I can't. I mean, I felt that way in Chicago, so I can only, now that I think about it, like, wow, how disorienting that must be. Like, so that was like, but that was my experience. And that led to me drinking more and feeling lost. And then eventually I passed out in the street. And and I'd been in a lot, I was getting a lot of trouble, and the drugs were like the hard drugs were showing back up again, let's just say. And I'm like, man, if I got felt chewed up and spit out in a small town, I don't, this is a big city. Like, you could be lost here, you know? And that's, one day I woke up and I was like, the other thing I'll say, and I hope I didn't talk too long, but
No, no, no. I love this story.
oh, thank you. It is lovely. It's very uplifting. Oh, they should make a children's cartoon about it. But so I think for me, what happened was I, a couple things. One, I was working at this coffee shop, and I made a group of friends that I worked with, and they were all film students.
Okay.
And there was something, they were all Columbia College students, and there was something about hearing the word film that went ding 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 for me, right? Like, music, I mean, there were musicians. One of the women that used to come in, Fred Armisen, was dated one of them or was in a band with them. Trenchmouth a long time ago. So there were like people I was starting that I still hear that I know of now that are famous. But the music was like, okay, but it was like film and performance, right?
Okay.
It like rang my bell in a positive way. And so I decided in Chicago that I was going to go to college finally. And I do feel like for me, I think I'm ADD, and having some space around the decision. Um, I felt like, okay, I could go. Maybe I could go. So I took loans out and I got accepted. I think they accept everyone. And so but I wanted to kind of maybe go into this.
Okay.
So for the first time, I latched on to something. And I'd had performance experience, but we won't go into that. But, all my life, throughout my life, I mean, in a good way, not in a, yeah.
Not in the
You need to
admin
stop.
way.
No, not in that way. But I just mean I'd been in theater, I'd done all kinds of stuff like that. So I had something that I was actually working towards. And what I saw was like my appetites for substances like threatened that. And I just was like, I don't think I could pull off both. And what I wouldn't want to do was be somewhere with people trying to do things that meant something to me and end up like the way that I ended up when I'm just with people that all we're doing is getting high or getting drunk. So, I mean, that's fun. And I liked a lot of the people that I did it with. It was fun sometimes, but it wasn't going anywhere. It
Yeah.
was self medicating. And so when I finally had something that I was really trying to do, I was on the dean's list. I did well in classes. Um, uh, I That's when I woke up like from a bad night. I was like, this could happen anywhere. It didn't happen because it was market days and I was out with my friends. That's when it happened. I was out at a festival or whatever. I could have been at a fancy dinner with like somebody who wanted to give me work and take a drink, and the next thing you know, I'm,
Blackout drunk. And you're like, I don't wanna.
yeah. And I mean, I also look at myself now with, in the hindsight, with a lot of therapy, a lot of self examination, a lot of support groups. Um, I think I was always sort of searching for something, which is why I like getting high, because it's like an elevation in your consciousness until it's unconscious and you're unconscious, but it's not lasting. It can't. It doesn't. It doesn't. It can't hold.
But is it like did you said like it's a really nice story of transformation into and if
I mean, I'm just lucky I didn't die though.
yeah, I was gonna say if you are
If you
there,
live.
if you're there and you're a young person who doesn't know how to find themselves and goes into drugs, here's a story of someone that like found out at some point that like, hey, this is not that bad. So find something to latch on. I believe,
Yeah, positive.
yeah, something positive to latch on and leave your boyfriend who's in jail. And and go to Chicago.
Well,
Actually.
I mean, sometimes jail is what gets people. I mean, s- the one thing I'll say, and I did a comedy show in jail at a prison in Dixon, and that's supposed to be a good prison for. I think it's a male prison because they have a lot of programs for people. And we did this comedy show there. That was a rough one. That's an old story in itself, but I just I realized like we were walking down this hall to go to the gymnasium where the comedy show was being put on. And there were like I remember walking seeing a man painting,
Hmm.
and he was like a big guy, like clearly like, he was hitting the gym in prison, but he looked healthy and he was actually painting. And I was like, I bet he didn't have a lot of time to paint when he was out on the
Yeah.
street, right? So I don't want to put somebody's prison experience down because anybody could go to prison. Everybody, anyone. There's no one that is, if one wrong situation, there are some people that it's like, yeah, that's not a shock, but everyone's in a position, certainly now, we're all in positions where we could all be in prison. And so I don't think it makes somebody less of a person. I think it means they have a hard story. But I don't want to go there, so I'm trying to live differently so I don't go now. And I don't want to date anybody that's in there. It doesn't
Except
mean I
that's
want.
in there.
Yeah,
Maybe after
right.
after being reformed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So if you are just out of prison, just hit up Laura Hugg and
Yes, there
she
you
will
go.
give you a
Yeah,
chance.
there you go.
That's the. This is what we wanted from the beginning. Just give you a chance of
I
love
didn't know you were
to.
trying to fix me up. I feel like half this podcast is like, I need to talk about my own drinking. And I'm like, okay, Christian. And then the other part is, now we're going to get Laura a boyfriend. Thank you.
There you go. With that, we're gonna end the episode. We're gonna go to the bonus content. It will be
Okay.
a short one, but adios. You have to say adios.
Adios.